This month of February in this year 2022. Welcome to GMU Extra today, and thank you so much for choosing to be with us on yet another very good day. We thank and praise the Lord God for another opportunity for us to be here and to be alive. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us, and of course thanking you so much on behalf of the UBC TV sports team, Ruben Impima, Peter Otai, and all the others for the month-long AFCON, which indeed was very good, and of course it ended on a very good note for many of us who were supporting the Lions of Teranga, Senegal, and of course seeing them lift the trophy for the first time in their footballing history. Now, away from all that vibe, we get to a conversation this morning, and we will talk about university education. And joining me here in studios is a second-year education student from Makerere University, Ndugu Tukundane Brian. You are very welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ndugu Jagenda. For starters, my name is Tukundane Brian. I am a second-year student. I reported for second year yesterday, so this is my second day in second year. I'm a second-year student of Arts with Education, and I am majoring in Literature and English Language Studies.
How do you feel being at university?
It's really beautiful. You see, in our country and in the times of the African setting, when you get to university, especially Makerere, in our own setting as Uganda, you're the talk of town. He's at Makerere, he's at Makerere. So it's really a good feeling. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we surely shouldn't misuse it. So I feel extremely humbled to be at university, and not any other, but Makerere University.
But I think those were the days when we didn't have many universities, when graduating from university was an in thing. And now that we have so many who have gone through universities, graduated, and back on the streets, they're riding TVS, border borders.
Yeah, true.
Is there anything to take pride in being at the universities?
Yeah, you see, being in the university puts you at a state. Yeah, back then, when we had only one public university, of course, in our country, it was prestigious because even the Ndugus in Kenya and Tanzania used to come to Uganda specifically to attend university. But today, there are so many public universities, not only the public ones, but also the private ones. So it no longer makes a lot of sense to be at university, but still there is something the society especially expects you to have added onto yourself being a university student. So it makes even more sense today actually than it did in the past, because in the past, being at university, your parent maybe probably had a lot to spend on you, but today it's a basic need. We need it. So that's why it makes even more sense today.
Okay, there is a feeling that yes, we have so many universities, public and private, we have so many students graduating from universities every other year, but our problems as a country seem to be just increasing, and yet we have so many elites. We think to get educated is to be part of the solution to a problem, but we tend to look at a country where we have majority of these scholars, learners, etc., but things seem not to be changing. Should anybody take pride in our education, for example?
Thank you so much. Now, that's a very, very, very nice question. Now, yes, we should, in the first place, I will maintain that we should take pride in being university students. However, we should also accept the fact that in our setting as Uganda, our country has not prepared, the administration of our country has not prepared our education to be befitting. For example, I will begin with, if tomorrow, for example, I can graduate from Makerere University with a Bachelor of Arts in Education degree and still have to go back down in Chukubo or Chiseka to trade in motor appliances and second-hand parts with my uncle who did not stand or step into even senior two, then it would be the shaming. Why? Number one, people, for example, in the education sector, there is no retirement age in private institutions. One, Ndugu Jagenda, you can be a teacher of history or literature. You can teach for as long as Lord Almighty gives you breath to. Now that's dangerous, because if I'm graduating tomorrow, where do you expect me to teach? So our country especially should put in place policies to make sure that people are in systems like government institutions do, that there is a retirement age. Even institutions, there should be an act saying that if by this time or this age someone should be out of service, maybe the money they have got, the gratuity, the NSSF they are saving, should help them to enter into something else, maybe agriculture, maybe transport service, own a taxi, do something, so that even us can enter something, because probably tomorrow I'll end up in Chiseka market trading, because there is nowhere to go to. And the other thing, our education system is not preparing us to work in our country. It is preparing us to be labor for another country. For example, if because you understand, and the population out there would understand.
Is it you who chooses to go somewhere else, or that's what the system tells you?
The system in place, because if tomorrow morning I can't come here at UBC and compete viably with Uganda for a job, then I automatically have to look for somewhere else to go. And what is more dangerous is that we are forced, because the unskilled and the skilled both are leaving the country. Now that's a dangerous state, because the unskilled, the people that don't know what to do, are leaving to go and do shamba boy work, all these other kind of things in the Arab Emirates and the far Middle East. Also, our doctors, skilled doctors, are leaving our country to go out there and also work. That's dangerous. The unskilled and the skilled are both leaving the country. That's very terrible for our setting. Also, note that in our country, the richest man and the poorest man both cannot have their lives saved in any case, because we do not have a hospital that can save even the richest man. If you're not flown to Aga Khan or the far Middle East, you can't survive. What? The education system is not preparing our people, the people that are graduating from university as medical doctors, to work in our country. Those are not in place. Also, note that in our education system, it is dangerous, it is criminal for you to speak your mother tongue. It's criminal. You can be expelled. And in any case, why wouldn't we put in place facilities that allow, for example, you could have Kiswahili Wednesday, National Kiswahili Day, that our students all over our country speak Kiswahili on that day.
Don't they teach those languages? Because I think
teach them, but it's criminal to speak them.
Then how do you learn them?
It's vernacular. You learn them in class in that lesson period. If it's outside class, it's vernacular.
Okay, well, there'll be a lot of things to talk about here, and I just want to think. You talked about retirement to start with. Let me just get back to retirement. Our civil service has about 400,000 workers in it there. What about if they all retired? Because I think we talk about retirement. Let's retire all of them today, and maybe bring in the young turks who have just graduated from university. Will that have solved the problem? Because we tend to think those who have not retired are actually occupying our space. But if they retired now, you talk about one possibly a teacher, one headmaster, one director of studies. If they retire, I am sure you are about 400 in your class. Will all of you get that same position? If you all competed and one of you gets there, then what happens to all the other 300 plus who will not get the same position?
Thank you so much, Uganda. Now, to tackle that, Makerere University, to begin with, let me use, because I'm well versed with that. Makerere University, our population is 46,000 students. You've told
the official figures.
The official figures, thank you so much. The official figures are 46,000. So, you're saying that the people in the public service, for example, are 40,000.
400,000.
400,000. Thank you so much. That's way beyond the 46,000. Of course, if we retired all of them today, we'd still have that need.
I'm thinking they are all at retirement age or past retirement age today. So we can decide to throw all of them out and then have the others.
Yeah, true. That would be very dangerous. So we wouldn't need to do that. But then how about we retire those that need to be retired?
Exactly. Now, how about if out of 400,000, you only need to retire 2,000?
Yeah, if we retire 2,000.
Because I don't think all of exactly. Let's retire 2,000.
And let's bring in the 2,000.
Bring in the 2,000.
Those are 200,000 families secured. That's a big number.
2,000.
2,000 people. Those are 2,000 families secured in our country. That is not too bad. It's not too good, but it's not too bad to begin with. Then how about we also think of very important factors like the central bank rate? How about we think of bringing it down, not only sustaining it, but bringing it down? Because the central bank rate determines what happens, especially in the financial policies of our country. Because if the central bank rate, for example, is 6.5, you would expect that the least commercial bank rate in any bit DFC or all the others, maybe the least would be 15%. Now, if you're borrowing money, for example, an education institution is borrowing money to maybe set up a state-of-the-art dining hall or auditorium for their academic purposes, of course, they are going to pay that money. And remember, some could have gotten that money post-COVID.
You see where you've even actually gotten. You're now talking about state-of-the-art, and you're now into functions. You state-of-the-art because you think you must study in a state-of-the-art environment, state-of-the-art dormitory, or whatever that means. But let's get back to your university to start with. There was a strike, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the strike and what is in it.
Yeah, Makerere University, like I told you, is 46,000 students. The problem that is bringing about the strike is that before we entered into COVID, we were doing face-to-face learning for all the 5 years of learning. We have 5 years of learning at Makerere. Now, the 5 years of learning were all on campus doing physical study. Now, when COVID came in, there was need to put in place procedures that helped that people do not contract the COVID-19. So in those processes, there was introduced a system of blended learning. Blended learning in this case is that if first years, for example, reported, they are now on campus for 1 month studying face-to-face freely. We, second years, third years, 4 and 5, but the medical students are also on campus, should be online, studying online, using Zoom and all the other platforms. So when that came in, it was good. It was good in the beginning because we were interested in it, trying to try out new processes of studying. But then our pleas today, why the strike happened yesterday is that, and our questions are, why should this continue happening? Yes, because in the past it was understandable. There was need that COVID-19 should be fought, and we are also in the fight together as a country. But now that the country has been opened freely, that everything should keep working normally, then why should Makerere University, among others, keep locked up? Because even the blended learning per se, we are still paying 100% tuition.
What is locked up? What is kept locked up now? You're still under
blended learning. Blended learning. We are not still allowed on campus. Yet after paying 100% tuition, 100% functional fees, we are still supposed to pay data fees. You know how expensive
how
data
much were you
can be in
paying
account.
during the blended times?
The blended learning, we are paying everything.
You're still paying 100.
Yeah.
You are still paying 100%.
100%.
Okay.
But we are saying
so the problem is not paying because you've paid 100% before COVID. You paid 100% during the blended learning, and you're still paying 100%.
Yeah.
So the problem is actually really not the payment of 100%. You're asking for a different thing.
Our problem is that if they insist that we are not supposed to be at Makerere University, if they think we don't belong and Makerere doesn't belong to us, then let them reduce the functional fees we pay. Because we are not using the water, we are not using the electricity, we should pay for
No, but
the
I think
functional fees and the data, because there is Wi-Fi there.
To Konana, I think that's how you will lose your point. I think that's how you will lose your agitation, because during the blended season, you paid 100%, and you had no problem with that. Or even if you had a problem, but you consented, you had an agreement, you were given a consideration which you actually assented to. I'm only thinking, so I do not, is the problem the payment of 100%, or the issue is we now need to go back to campus because it's fully open to all of us?
The two are all correct, depending on which angle they are viewed on. Because why should we keep paying 100% if we are not getting value for it?
How much you pay for functional fees?
Functional fees, for example, they come up to close to 900,000.
900,000.
Yeah.
And that's 100%.
That's 100%. Functional fees.
How much of that would you want to pay?
We would at least be paying nothing because we don't use those functional fees.
No. You see, you're losing it.
Functional fees.
You're losing it.
We don't need to pay them. We don't use any of them.
No, but what is in functional fees? Is it only water and electricity?
Water, electricity.
And what else?
The Wi-Fi we use. Then the public lectures where they bring around people, they have to facilitate
what else?
them.
Because I think there are quite a number of things. Library, steps.
Yeah,
there are quite a number of
things. And we're not accessing the library even. I would have given you proper if I had brought the circular.
That's actually what I'm saying, because you can't say we should pay nothing.
Because we don't use any of them.
No, but when you go to campus or you use Wi-Fi, you said? Is that what you said? You borrow books from the library. So you really can't say we should pay nothing. Now, even if you say, let's reduce to about maybe 50% or so percent, now that would be a different conversation. And I'm thinking that is not what you're asking for. That's not your agitation. Your agitation is the country is fully opened. If all the others, the borders are riding in the night, bars are open, churches are open, everywhere is open, why don't we also go back to the first of us? I think that should be the conversation.
True.
Not because you're reducing it to functional fees, you look like you just don't want to pay this money.
But you see, Agenda, it is really absurd in our country. Forgetting us being at school physically, it is really absurd for not anyone in our country to respect even 100 shillings paid by a student or by a parent in our country. The times are hard. We are post-COVID. We are really in hard times. People can hardly have one meal. I believe that whether a child is born in the urban sprawl of Kampala or the windswept plains of Karamoja, they have the same dream. So if you're only tying tying to the money, because forgetting the money bit, but we need to have it. Why we had to be there physically is because we want the value of that same money.
Exactly.
So the money is needed to be the conversation. So it's we should really respect the money even before we respect our rights.
So your issue is the functional fees.
We want value for that money.
So what about if they said, well, no functional fees? Would that be okay?
It's okay. We can.
Is that what you're saying?
We would use that money for.
Yeah, because I had one of your friends on, I think, radio, TV somewhere, saying we are even not understanding what we're learning. Now, and I'm trying to relate the functional fees and the capacity to understand. Because if I am learning electronically and I'm not used to that, I need to look at a teacher, I need to see somebody, I need to see them explain certain things to me for me to be able to actually understand. I think that's what I should be getting. Now, when you say you are minus 900,000 shillings, don't pay that, pay the rest of the money, but minus 900,000 shillings. If I do not have capacity to understand virtually, then I will not understand anything. So I'm thinking, what are you agitating for, and what are you looking for, and what are you really asking government to do for you? What needs to be done for you? And two, is there a better way for you to address your grievances to be heard, or the only way you can actually be heard? Because at the end of the day, those that we saw leading the strike will come and contest as councillors or MPs. So this is a platform for them, I think, to be seen for some public elective office or so.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, like you said, that is not the best way to table in our grievances or to ask value for our money. Yes, it is true that through those platforms, yes, some things are not understood. Yeah, there are challenges because these are new systems. We should accept beyond any other fact that our country is not ready for online or blended learning or whatsoever it should be, because we are not ready for it. Like, for example, last semester, there are course units where we only had one lecture. One lecture. That's very dangerous. Now,
why did you have one lecture?
Because the systems were never good. They were never okay. The systems were never okay. If or the other thing, the lecturer would tell you is a bit busy today, then let's reschedule.
Two things. We talk about lecturers, but we're also talking about the system. What was the problem?
The problem is that everyone, even the lecturers, all the sector players, were not ready for online.
Okay. So even your lecturers are not ready for
online.
Okay. Maybe the system
Most
can
of
work.
them maybe. Let me not speak for not all of them.
Maybe the system is working, or the system can work. Because how did that one lecture come through?
You see, sometimes you may not, you surely can't miss your shot all the time. Yeah, you can't aim a target and miss it all the time. Sometimes it can, but that doesn't mean the target is good.
It was just by chance that the actually
don't think that it is good for suicide bombers to bomb our country. But sometimes they try, they fail. Sometimes they do. It doesn't mean what they are doing is good. It's bad. But sometimes, that's why people question God's. But it's not that everything that happened is good, or that the chance it has gotten passed through is good. But we look at the negativity and the possibility and weigh.
So all the sector players, do the sector players include students?
Surely.
Okay, and even the students also weren't ready for online studies.
True, because 12% of the 46,000 don't have access to even a smartphone.
12%
of the 46,000.
Who gave you those figures?
We are doing these figures. They came from the guild ministry of academic affairs.
12%.
12%.
So 12% of how many?
Of 46,000 don't have access to even a smartphone.
At the university?
At the University of Makerere. And this is the greatest institution in our country. So what happens in other places?
Then I'm only thinking, so what needs to happen now? Because, you know, Tukundani,
yes.
We talk about smartphones. People have smartphones for leisure. And I'm thinking, even if it was a face-to-face interview with the lecturer, and you needed to find some work on, because you can't tell me even those who want to attend live classes don't need smartphones or gadgets or even internet to do a small research or a personal study or something like that, that they need. They only rely on what the lecturer gives them. I don't think that's true at Makerere University.
Now, what is true is that when we are online, when we are physically at campus, I don't know why online keeps clicking in my head. When we are physically on campus, we have access to our library. The library has over about 5,000 computers that have access to fast internet. Now, those that may not have access to smartphone can do their research, their all the online
personal reading and stuff.
personal reading using those computers. But if they're at home, if someone is in Kaperabyong in Amorata, they don't have the phone, there is no network. So what will they use to attend the Zoom class? What will they use? They don't have the smartphone. Maybe if we are on campus, we would share the phone.
If because you're in Kapelebyong, you're in Amolatar, you're in Kole, you're in whatever, you're in Muru, you are in maybe Chisoro, and you do not have network where you are. And tomorrow you hear Professor Nawanga say, there is no 900,000 functional fees. We've now removed all those. Will it have solved the problem of someone in Kapelebyong or Chisoro or Masindi or Tororo where there is no network?
Surely not. Thank you so much. Surely not. Yes. It was not my intention in the first place to reduce the conversation to the money.
To the money.
But our essence, because in Ndugujagenda, you know this, we may want to rotate around it, but people can't afford a single meal a day.
It's okay.
So why should the 900,000 we are paying, if we demand for value for it, seem as
you know, I am
concentrating on the money?
I am agreeing with you.
We are saying let's be free on campus all the 5 years, have access to what we pay for,
and I think,
fully, and be blamed for performing
exactly
poorly, other than blaming the system.
And I think I agree with you that we can't reduce the conversation to just the functional fees. But when you say scrap the fees because we are not getting 100% of what we pay for,
true,
and they say, okay, we've now scrapped the fees, don't pay for functional fees. Because you're not coming to the university to consume our water, our electricity, our Wi-Fi, you're not paying for all that. Stay at home, then we study online. That will not have solved the problem.
Yeah,
I am thinking it will not have solved the problem. That's why I'm saying shift the conversation from the 900,000 of the functional fees and make a better demand and say, the country is open. We need to be on campus. We need to be on campus. Let the performance be blamed on us. That I had all the 17 weeks on campus and my performance is below par. I have retakes here and here and here. It's my own doing. Exactly. I think that's why you should be. That's why you should now engage the university. Is the guild talking like that? Because, you know, when you reduce the conversation, we can't even afford a meal. We don't have money. Our parents are struggling. So they will say, okay, how much money are you supposed to pay? I'm supposed to pay 2.9. Now it is 2.9 million shillings because the 900 is for functional fees. And they say, okay, minus 900, pay the 2 million. Will the parents be happy?
Of course.
It will still cause them issues.
It will still cause issues. So if you were the professor, how would you handle that? We're the vice chancellor.
No, but you see, when you ask for, when you ask wrongly, then I think you'll be responded to wrongly. Your issue is very valid over staying on campus. That's what you should demand.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
So among others, thank you so much for, among others, we are demanding, because we are not only, because they say when we are on campus, there are so many problems we bring about, the strikes and everything. Like you said, strikes, and I believe too, strikes cannot be the main aim of the target or the main solution to the problem. But then, before we ask to be, because there are people that are not interested in being on campus. There are people that work. There are people that don't have time, and brain learning would work for them better. But we are saying this is the main gist, the value for the money. Because why do we? Because if we say we want to be physical on campus, then they would ask us why. Then we say we want value for our money. Because even the tuition itself, we are paying tuition for physical. That's the big. That's the argument we have at admission time.
So somebody has asked you why you want to be on campus. You say when you say you want to be on campus, they'll ask you why do you want to be on campus.
Value for our money.
Somebody doesn't know that you're supposed to be on campus. I'm only thinking, is it?
No, they know, but you see in our country, everyone tries to shun away from their duty. Everyone tries to think the young generation is just it's just mild, we are just hooligans. But we are saying no, this is the right time for us to demand for what is truly ours. We are saying, why should we be on campus? Number one, value for our money. Number two, our agreement at time of admission is that we are paying whatever amount. Because if you're saying we are only paying, we're not only paying for the functional fees.
I know.
We are paying 2 million plus money for, and the other courses also pay for about 4 million shillings. So we are saying even the admission letters we sign, the agreement we have is for physical classes, not blended. The time we accepted blending is because our country was bleeding, and it would seem mean and equivocal for us to ask for physical classes at school, yet transport is closed, and it also to demand for the value for our money at a time when our country was in the sorry state. So we are saying this is the right time, that everything has been opened. We are saying, why does Makerere keep closed? Why?
Okay.
Yet we have so many issues.
Thank you. Tukunda is a second-year university student at Makerere, and he's doing a Bachelor's of Education, majoring in Literature and English Language. Yes, he's with me here, very passionate about what he's doing and what he's studying at the university. We'll just take a break and return shortly, talking about education in the post-COVID era. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Raising Voices.
I feel happy when my mother spends time with me. I hope all mothers will like my mother. I want my mother to reach out to all mothers. She knows how important it is to be a good mother. I promise to help my mother inspire other mothers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voices.
Buli munya-Uganda nayitinga amakuru marungi. UBC West eyina amakuru marungi kandi agali kwesigwa. Leero za program zaayo ziri omulunya kitara hamwe n'olufumbira. UBC West eyina tekinologiya ey'omulembe eri kugibaasisa kuhika omu bicweka byona omw'ihanga nangu n'aheeru y'eihanga. Tukwatire aha frequencies ezo. Kisoro 95.
It's time to teach. Schools are open. In these days of COVID-19, teachers are not only giving knowledge, but protecting themselves and their students from the virus. As a teacher, you must ensure that students follow the set SOPs of always maintaining a distance of 2 meters from others in classrooms, dormitories, entertainment halls, school vans and playgrounds, wearing a washed and clean mask every day that covers their mouths and noses, and regularly washing their hands with soap and water. In addition to that, you must counsel students about stigma related to COVID-19 and discourage them from violence. Any violence against students from classmates, teachers or parents should be reported immediately to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Ensuring everyone's safety is key, so make sure students are out of class by the official closing time. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
Start the year off with my Airtel 4G smartphone. You get to enjoy free 1 GB data valid for a month and 100% bonus data every month for 3 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. This includes free data spread over 3 months worth 86,500 Uganda shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 Uganda shillings only. Visit the nearest Airtel shop and get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Well, thank you so much and welcome back from the break. We continue the conversation, talk about education in the post-COVID era. My name is Jagana Semakula Ziksoka with Tukundane Brian, a second-year education student from Makerere University here in Kampala. Back to you, Ndugu Tukundane, here again. What advice would you give to the Ministry of Education and the university leadership itself, starting with the guild leadership and, of course, the university management? How do you think this puzzle needs to be solved for posterity of the university and, of course, for the benefit of everybody? A win-win.
Yeah, surely. Thank you so much, Nugujagenda. I would begin with advising our guild leadership. Number one, I personally don't think we have to keep doing something just because we have done it all over and over again. I don't think strikes have led us anywhere. I don't think we have achieved anything by striking. We had a problem of 15%, but it was only solved around a big table. It was a table agreement, and it was solved on the table. Strikes didn't end it. So number two, I also don't think strikes will end this problem as well. Number one, I think we should boycott them. No coordinator should share a link to attend Zoom class. No, of course,
coordinators are part of your students.
Coordinators are part of students. They are like a class monitor. Yeah. So they shouldn't share any link for Zoom class. Let's boycott these classes, because if we strike, people are going to break limbs. Yesterday, people were arrested. Some we don't know where they are. Their parents don't know where they are. So
how about those who were expelled? We had there were some who were expelled.
Yeah, they were expelled. Some were suspended. Because of mere just small things. And by the for demanding for what is true theirs. By the we should not look at what they did, but what the cause was. Yeah. So it's really bad for them, but their cause was the right cause. But we are saying, let's shift from this. We are an intellectual capacity institution. We are supposed to think beyond the bar. So what do? Let us boycott these things. Let us say, no, enough is enough. Let's do what is right, because we know what the challenges that are really packaged into this thing of online learning. So for the university administration, you people are parents. You know what goes on. You know what really happens. You know the problems we face. You know what is really there. So please help us. Help us think like parents. People are taking property into bank mortgage to make sure we are in school. They are losing this property. Families are foregoing meals to make sure we are in school. Families are putting their kids, these young kids, at home so that us at Makere can study. Why don't you open this institution? What reasons do you have?
Okay.
Put them into writing. Come on to national
maybe they
reasons.
have reasons that you possibly won't agree with, because I'm sure they have reasons. They could be vague reasons, they could be bad reasons, they could be foolish or bad, whatever. You may not have, they have. And maybe what I'm thinking is, let's get back now to the actual situation at the university. Who is allowed to be on campus? Who is not allowed to be on campus? Is everybody not allowed to be on campus, or what?
Yeah, thank you, Ndugu Agenda. First years, these that reported yesterday for first semester of this academic year are supposed to be on campus.
First years, first semester?
First years, first semester.
Okay.
Are supposed
for orientation?
Orientation was last week.
Okay,
it ran from, so this is class now. They started class yesterday. So they're supposed to be on campus. Then veterinary students, infrastructure, architecture, people doing architecture, medicine, engineering, veterinary are supposed to be on campus.
Okay.
Only those. The rest of us are supposed to be, as per the blended learning schedule, supposed to be online. Yeah.
So that's for the second years, third years?
Second years, third year, 4 and 5.
Your course is education?
Yeah, my course is education.
And you have year 1, year 2, and year 3?
Yeah, year 3.
Okay, so it's only year 1 education that is at school, at campus, on campus. So year 2 and year 3?
Are online. Likewise for all the other courses.
Okay.
Apart from medicine,
yes, for
all of them are supposed to be on campus, whether first year, second, all of them are on campus. And that's a small fraction of our percentage. It's about 36, by the way, out of the 46,000 reportedly supposed to be on campus. So it's mean.
So what happens? You're supposed to be off campus for the rest of the course, for the rest of the semester, for the rest of the year. What's the progress? What's the plan like?
Yeah, thank you. A semester runs for 3 months. So if they are on campus, these first years that are not medicine students or veterinary or architecture.
The arts now.
Yeah, these ones be on campus for a month. They go online. We go on campus for a month. We go back online. The third years come. Then we all come back for exams.
So you share the semester amongst yourselves?
Yeah.
1 month, 1 month, 1 month?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what you are detesting?
Yeah, we are detesting it. It's mean. It's anti-African. Yeah, it's anti-African. It's neo-colonialism.
Okay, have you written that down to demand for that? Because I think that should be the conversation, to say what are some, away from the value for money, but I'm thinking what other very pertinent disadvantages do you encounter with that particular setting? Because this is a university, and I'm only thinking those who are lecturing, those who are setting the standards, those who are running the university, have done. I think they are more educated than all of us that they're actually teaching.
Sure.
And I'm thinking they could have thought through what they're doing. But what pertinent challenges or disadvantages do you envisage in this that you need to talk about and say, we don't want it, not just because I don't want to be on campus for 1 month and I'm not on campus for 2 months.
And number one, thank you. Number one is that there are so many issues on ground that they fear if we are on campus, I presume
let's talk about some of these issues.
Number one,
because I think that's where it is now. That's the crux of the issue.
Yeah, number one, you know that we're unfortunate that the main building got burned. It's coming to 2 years now. We don't have a report what happened and what is the way forward. Money has been solicited. The other day, the president of our country launched a campaign to actually renovate this, and that was last year. Money was solicited, very many organizations
So
came
part of
up.
the reasons why you're demanding to be on campus
Not that. These are my thoughts of why they don't want us there.
Because I thought you're now going to ask for the report of the fact that
we are not going to ask for it. By the way, let me give these people assurance. We are not going to ask for those things because we know we want to get there. That's to study.
That's one thing.
They don't want us to come there because we shall demand. They don't like the way we demand. Don't worry, we are soon shifting from that way of demanding. We shall demand differently. Number two, our halls of residence are in dear state. They are rotting. And the sewer system is spoiled.
And you're demanding to get into them.
Yeah, we want these people to work on that as well because we pay for that.
Have you put that up as a demand?
Yeah, you actually asked me that question but didn't give me time to explain. Number one, our guild president has been writing very many requisitions, very many letters, very many correspondences, thank you, to the guild, to the university management, to the university, all stakeholders involved. But the replies have been negative. Personally, as a student, I also wrote the Vice Chancellor on the 2nd of this month. I wrote him. I didn't get any formal.
About a week ago?
Yeah, the 2nd. I didn't get any formal reply. We just got...
Did he receive your letter?
He received my letter because he's stamped received. I should have come along with it. Yeah. But no formal communication was made. Nothing, just...
What were you demanding for in your letter?
I was demanding for the opening of Makerere University and giving reasons why it should be open. Number two, I was demanding that we have marks on our portal. Now, I've gone back to the reasons why they don't want us. We don't have marks on our portal because marks are supposed to come onto the portal because you know that initially marks were pinned on notes but that used not to work because people would see that they have retakes and they don't want friends to see, then pull out the sheets and... So marks come straight to the portal. But there are no marks. There are people that are in 3rd year now and have never seen 1st year marks. We want these marks there. What's the problem? Why are you putting us into blended learning? Yet you people can't use it to even serve us. If you're saying this thing works, then provide our marks on the portal. You're saying this system works and that's why you want us to use it. But you're failing to use it yourselves. Avail our marks there. Number 4 and most important, Makerere University is big enough for us. It's actually more than enough for the 6,000 students. What reason is there not allow us there?
So let me know who this affects. Is it affecting all the students or resident students?
All the students of Makerere University. Yeah.
Residents and non-residents?
Residents and non-residents. The marks issue affects
No.
Now, the whole problem, the one of halls of residence, that one affects resident students because we have 10 halls of residence, the female halls of residence and the male. But they're all in their state.
And so you, the residents, are the ones demanding to be on campus, is that so?
Makerere University students are demanding to be on campus.
Not only the residents.
Not only the residents. The residents' cries are that we need better service delivery for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, in our halls of residence.
And you see how I feel for you, how I wish I was your classmate or so. I'm only feeling for you that you have very pertinent issues that you are losing on the way, maybe because of the delivery. And that's where... Because you don't seem like you are coming out directly or you're coming out in a clear way to actually say what you really want. And to me, that's my only I know that there are problems that the university needs to address. You talk about the bad condition of your residences. What about if they say today, all of you, come back to campus and get into Lumumba, get into Micho, get into university, get into Nsibirwa and anything? Would you love the facility there, or you would actually get there then strike because the sewer system is blocked? Would you get there then maybe the other day you strike because the DHE has a problem? Would you get there and strike maybe, you see, these are the things that you should be asking for.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you see, when you give birth to an albino child, you don't kill the child, it's your child. If he's lame, he's your child. So we know these problems are there in halls of residence, but we have been living with them. So we are saying even the little that we had, because being on campus was bad enough because we are living in poor sanitary conditions that could be very dangerous to our lives. But we are saying even the little we had, no, it wasn't too good, but the little we had has also been taken away. Yeah, we can live with these problems, though they are pressing problems and need to be ardently worked on. But then we are saying, you know, when someone steps on your shoe and you tell them, man, you're stepping my shoe, he still steps your shoe, man, you're stepping my shoe. And then now he hits your head. That's now too much. You don't just sit down and, just like Chuno Achebe says, you hold a stick and hit the man's head. So we are holding the stick and hitting the man's head. Why are you pressing us? For heaven's sake. The halls of residence are bad enough. We have been living with that. You're saying, you're writing to us, you're telling us this will change. Now, even that failing to change, now you're telling us, by the way, the problem of the 15% also increment is also still there. Don't forget that. We are saying now, now you don't want us at Makerere anymore, even to make matters worse. We are saying this is wrong. And these are just demands. These are just demands.
When was the first time you heard about a strike in Makerere as a child? Or
I think I was in my S5.
Okay.
That was the 15% increment strike. I was in S5 to 18. Yeah.
And how do you feel that you come to university that forever is entangled into these things? And of course, you will, 1 to 3 years, you will be out of Makerere University, and those that will come after you will also come and get into the same cycle. What do you think is happening that, or what do you think needs to be done to have a better Makerere once and for all?
Yeah, thank you so much, Nduguja, again. I believe Makerere University students or university students of our country they don't have mental issues, they don't have mental problems. They don't engage into this because they use drugs or what. No. They engage in this because they are brave enough to demand for what is rightfully theirs. And this is a just cause. But just that the mode is wrong, because we can't keep doing this. We are going to break every hole we have at Makerere University. My son may not enter Makerere University when we have any building left there at his 90 years. Maybe we would have banned them all because of strikes, unfortunately. So my personal thoughts would be that we should leave the traditional cultural way of demanding for what is ours. Yes, it's okay, but we should not be violent in the process. Let us demand for it in the right way possible. Let us write. Because you see, when you record me, the recording may get lost. But paper never, ink or anything, never fades. So let's write what we think should be done. Let's put it in pen and paper, demand for it. Because the world is watching. I didn't know Nduguja again and those things are happening. The world is watching. People know what we are asking for. Let us keep advocating, writing, and maybe demonstrate and boycott these things. Like I've said, let no class coordinator share any link for a Zoom class. Number 2, let us keep engaging. Let us call on people. There are people that care. WOPA, these are all organizations, Educate, all these organizations, MasterCard are listening. And they know the cries that we have. They would support us. Let's engage them to talk to our people. Because because these things are ours. Makerere University is ours, not the professors, not anyone's. It's ours, you and me. So let us leave the time of striking or fighting by physical way. Let us fight using our brains. Let us engage in two intellectual battles with these people, because if they are professors and we are struggling to be one like them, let's show them we are trying to be where they are, but we are saying, hey man, this is wrong. Let's do it this way. Okay. And we're giving them reasons why we think it's wrong.
Who is your member of parliament?
For
Makerere
University. That should be Kawempe South.
That's Kawempe South.
That should be Kawempe.
Mbazira
Bashir.
Has he come out to say anything about his university? Because that's his constituency.
He has not. I've not heard anything, whether recorded or written, from him. But I think it would change nothing.
You sure?
I think it would change.
For a member of parliament?
Agenda, you know our country.
No, but I'm only thinking, you think you want to come on TV here, talk about it, then it changes, and a member of parliament goes to the floor of parliament, talks about it, and nothing changes?
Talking about it wouldn't change it. That's why our agenda...
Because I think Mbazira can get to the house and demand to bring Professor Nawang.
They demanded for the release of all these political prisoners. These people have never been
released. No. But I'm talking about the university. I'm talking about the university.
What makes the university different?
That's what I'm saying. Have they brought Nawang? Because I think you're demanding to be... we have precedents. University X, Y, and Z are up and running.
Yeah.
Why aren't we learning?
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
so
because
much.
I think if one member of parliament said, in my constituency, I have a university or two, and mine is open, or mine are open, why isn't mine open, me who is in Makerere?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. Indeed, he should, because we believe that every step towards achieving a goal is good. Though sometimes it may not achieve, but then every step towards the right direction is good. So, like you've said, it's really ardent, though we anticipate that it would change nothing, but it's good that it happens.
Okay. Finally, in 1 minute, your final take on our conversation this morning, just before you get out of studios.
Yeah.
What wouldn't you want to live without saying?
Yeah, thank you so much, Nugujagenda. To the youth out there, we are among the youngest population in the world. We stand a chance. We are the leaders of the future. That future is today. We just need to come together and put our energies together. We shall change our destiny. Toward the administration of our country, please get involved in our education. Start loving your country, because you people are going to leave us here. This country is not yours. We are supposed to build a future in which we will not be. It's us that will be in that future, and the people will live. But if we are only building for ourselves for today, that how can I be happy today? Build how your son will be happy tomorrow. Makerere University is closed, and other institutions of learning. Okay, the capitation funds that are supposed to run these government schools are not enough. Okay, our central bank rate is high. It's affecting even what the private schools can borrow. Okay, our people don't have good jobs for themselves. That's why they run out there. Get interested in how your country runs, because you're supposed to build a future in which you will not be. So please get involved in what our country can be.
Okay.
That's what we are asking for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tukundane Brian, a second-year education student from Makerere University. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And of course, Makerere University, well, there the ball still is in your courts to see what happens. Everybody, so many people run away from Makerere University simply because they're tired of the unending strikes. Nobody wants to bring a child or send their children to a university that is up and running in battles and strikes, etc. every day. They need them to study, and we need everybody to study. We'll stop the conversation here. My name is Jagan Semakola Ziksoka, wishing you all the best for today. Until tomorrow again, good morning, blessings, and bye-bye.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.